Would you cut it or would you comb it out? How would I even look with a bald head? For a lot of us, after we wear locks for a long period of time, there comes a point in time where you just feel like you have to let it go. You're ready for something new. You want to cut your locks. So the question is, would you prefer to cut your locks and start new, or comb them out and start over that way? Personally, I don't think that any way is better than the other or anything like that. It really just comes down to personal preference. But I've given a lot of thought to this over the years, and I honestly, truly believe that if I decided to let go of my locks, I would just go ahead and cut it. Because if I'm ready to end my lock journey, that's a really serious moment, and there's so much that's attached to me with my hair. There's so much memory in my locks, and if I really wanted to go ahead and end my journey, I think that cutting it would just be best for me. Yeah, I'm used to having long hair, but at the same time, just imagine that feeling of like cutting your locks and just letting go of all of that. You start remembering, times that you've had, moments, at least for me, with every length, I correlate a certain point in my life, and I remember things that I've been through, what that time was like when my hair was this short or this long, and I remember all of those things. So to start fresh, I think that would be such a new feeling for me. I think I would feel so rejuvenated. At least I hope and pray that, if that time comes for me, that's how I feel. And just having all this weight just release. It would be a complete release for me. And I'm a very sentimental person, so when I do anything, I always do it with intention. So that would be my intention for letting my locks go. And just imagine just like starting from scratch and not really having hair. Now that would be a moment for me, because I don't have the best shaped head. So if I cut my hair, I'll really be able to see myself. But women who shave their heads, they really show their true beauty, because there's nothing to hide behind. It's just you and your face. So shit, if I'm not comfortable with me and my face, then I don't know what to tell myself. But I would like to experience that at some point in my life, and cutting would just be the way to go for me. What's interesting is that I find that most people usually cut their locks off in their 7th year, because 7 is a number of completion, and usually when you get to your 7th year, your hair is already down to waist length. So that is a good enough time. You've been through all the stages, you've reached a good length, a very long length, and you're ready to let it go. A lot of people cut their locks off in the 7th year. For me, I passed my 7th year. I'm in my 8th, and I didn't cut it yet. There was a moment where I did want to cut it, but that's because that's when I went through something super devastating in my life, and I did want to cut my hair. But I think my sister talked me out of it or whatever, so I didn't really do it. I'm in my 8th year now. I'm enjoying the journey, and now that I have a whole community of lock lovers, it's like I'm not ready to let that go, and I'm ready to ride it out with you guys, So have you ever had, the thought of possibly cutting your hair in the heat of the moment? I must say this though. Personally, me, I would never come home with a bald head out of nowhere. If I'm seriously in a relationship, I would not shock somebody like that, because that could be taken back. That's like a guy, you know, just cutting off his beard and his mustache. He come home, you're like, who the hell are you? I don't think that's right to really surprise somebody like that. I'm not saying that your spouse controls or dictates, you know, how you look, but I think it's something where you should have a conversation. Like if you're thinking about cutting your locks or doing a drastic change to your looks, that's something to talk about. I don't know, you know, you have the ultimate decision on your autonomy, but like I said, I'm not just about to chop my hair off and come home like, hey honey, look at me. Like, nah, I won't do that. It will probably be something that I talk about, and if it's something that I really want to do, I know that he loves me enough to support what I'm doing, so I would probably just tell him, like, yeah, boo, the locks is coming off. You know, would you go ahead and just change your look drastically without talking to your partner about it, or is that something that you feel is necessary to discuss first? When it comes to combing out your locks, I honestly get why people do it. They just don't want to be bald-headed, and that's completely fine. But for me, I just don't think I could justify sitting down for weeks just combing all of this out. Like, no ma'am. But, you know, more power to those that do. I do like to see the length retention. So when folks do comb their hair out and they take us along that journey and they show us, some of them retain quite a bit of hair, and it's really nice to just get that like first blowout, and it's like, oh, I have straight hair. I could just run my fingers through my hair. I can comb my hair, and I bet that's also a freeing feeling as well, but in a different way. And kudos to those who have the patience to sit there with the mounds of conditioner and comb out all that hair, and then they lose a lot. They do lose a lot of hair, but they are able to keep some length, and that varies between person to person. But I just don't think I would do that. I just would want to cut it and just grow new hair. Feel what my texture feels like. Feel my scalp, feel water just running, you know, down my bald scalp. I don't know. When will Natty Ann cut her hair? I have no idea, but the time is definitely not now. That's my take on cutting or combing. Let me know which one you guys think you would do when your journey comes to an end. And if you're like, girl, forget that, I'm never cutting my locks, let me know your stance on that too. But, you know, never say never. Always do what's best for you. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I will see you in the next one. Remember, if you're a lock lover like me, definitely subscribe to this channel for more. And binge watch some of these videos as well. Bye.